So if you are just trying to learn how to do your own makeup, or if you are an aspiring makeup artist, I just gave you the tea. I just gave you the sauce. So,
for I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future.
Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. Let's get right into today's video. I'm going to just start by, getting my brows together first. So now that we have a good base, eyebrows are done, let's get into the first product I want to talk about, which is foundation. I'm going to be using my Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. Excuse the top, baby, because I know this is not clean, but yeah. You want to aim for an exact match, but if you cannot get an exact match, I know it's especially for black women, it's hard to find complexion products that actually match, especially if you are on the darker side. So I completely understand and try to get as close as possible when it comes to your foundation, because the other products are not going to match your complexion at all. So your foundation is the base, and it helps to make everything come together and be seamless. Now, foundation typically goes all over your face as like I said, as a base, a foundation. But with new techniques, we're finding that you only put it in certain areas, which we'll get into that a little later in the video. Now I'm going to go with my concealer. I like to add it right here under my eyes, right here down the bridge of my nose, my forehead, and right here on my chin, sometimes right here. Now, the reason we're adding them in these specific places is because when you think about it, that's where the sun and the light naturally hits our face. Like sometimes, when people say their forehead be on beam, that's because that's the closest to the sun, the closest to the light. And so it's under your eyes and your chin. That's why when you have cheekbones, they kind of have like a darker cast, because your actual cheeks are laying on top of your cheekbones. So when it comes to where the light is actually hitting your face, the light hits your cheeks before it hits your cheekbones. But I'm getting ahead of myself. That's moving on into contour. Yeah, but the point of concealer is to conceal, to cover up. And when it comes to like highlighting under certain areas, I'm sorry, I'm trying to square my foundation so I can put that on. A lot of people get dark circles under their eyes, so the concealer helps conceal that. Whether it's correcting or it's brightening, that's what the concealer, when it specifically comes to highlight, it's used to brighten and to, cover up or, highlight. This is the highlight part of highlighting, contouring your face. So I like to let this sit, because with concealer, specifically this one, even though it's a full coverage concealer, with most concealers, if you let them sit while they on your face, it allows it to have more coverage. Now, when it comes to foundation, I'm going to put it on all the other places of my face where my contour and highlight is not going. Because remember, like I said, it's supposed to be used to bring everything together. Now, this is like a fairly new, not really new, but it's something that's been coming back as far as like what we see on social media. And it's pretty much saying like one layer of makeup, because especially like for oily girls, this method is really good because we use a lot of powder and it can get cakey. So with this, putting your foundation only on places that you are not applying any other product. And don't get me wrong, like sometimes the products will mix together in areas and be layered on top of each other. That's okay, but for the most part, you want to keep your foundation in all those other areas so you don't get cakey, and so like you just have more of a flawless finish. So I avoided this area right here because that's where I'm going to be applying my contour. You want to find your cheekbones. Normally your cheekbone lines with the top of your ear, so that's why I like to guide it. But if you don't want to do that, you can also like feel there. Everyone has cheekbones. They might not be as prominent as other people's, but we all have cheekbones. So you want to find where those cheekbones are. A lot of people I know do this face. That doesn't necessarily work for me, but you can also tuck your face in, will suck your cheeks in to find where your cheekbones. Mine are about right here. Now you don't want to sit it right where your cheek, right under your cheekbones. You want to sit it right on top, because the point of contour and putting it on your cheekbone is to snatch your face. We're trying to lift our face. For those of us who have rounder faces, that's really important. So I just like to draw my contour right on top of that. And one thing I also forgot to mention when it comes to your concealer for your highlight, that is going to be 1 to 2 shades lighter, because like I said, we're highlighting those areas that the sun naturally hit. And so when it comes to your contour, you want to make that 2 to 3 shades darker, because the point of contouring is to define the hollow areas of your face, which is usually your cheekbones, like some people do under their neckline, down the bridge of your nose, but places where the sun doesn't naturally hit. So that's that contrast between light and dark. This is what your face should look like once you applied all of the product. So I'm going to just blend this out. I don't think you all need to see me blend this out, so I'm just going to do that really quickly. So this is all blended out, like, and see, you notice how my face doesn't look completely different. Like, I was never one of those makeup artists who makes you look, like I said, completely different, because at the end of the day, we are all beautiful in our own way. We make up our own beauty standards, and makeup just enhances everything. So like I said, we highlight and contour. We highlight where the sun naturally hits us. So we're just highlighting those natural light parts of our face, as well as contouring those natural deep parts of our face. So makeup is just an enhancement. So as you can see, I don't look completely different. So I'm going to do like a side by side versus me, like at this stage of my makeup routine versus when I first started. I don't look like a completely new person. I just look more like I look more smooth. I look more put together, and everything is just enhanced. So I just want to put that out there, because yeah, people be having a lot to say about makeup. But anyway, let's move on. I really want to get into setting powders and finishing powders, because that's the next part of my makeup routine. So let me just show you all the different ones that I have. So for my setting powders, I have my one side. These are dirty, okay? These cases are very dirty, so be easy on me. Some vanity full of makeup. We're gonna do a declutter in one video, but like I said, anyway, I have my Milk makeup setting powder, as well as my One Size Beauty setting powder. I've been using the One Size Beauty for quite some time now. I really like it. I've also used the Huda Beauty setting Easy Bake powder, which is a setting powder, and it smells like cake. It smells so good. And I also have this setting powder, which is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Setting. As you can see, I use the heck out of it. But yeah, setting powders or finishing powders can be either in a loose form like these, and usually come in a compact like this, or a pressed powder like the Charlotte Tilbury I just showed you. Now the point of setting powder, which I'm actually going to set my face right now while I'm talking about it. The point of setting powder is to do exactly what where's my mirror? I'm going to use this one. The point of setting powder is to do exactly that. It is to set your makeup. Now, you can do different things, like you can have a translucent setting powder, which is pretty much clear. It doesn't have any color, which that's what this one is. This is translucent, yeah. So this is translucent, meaning it has no color. So that's the best for me, especially because I bake. So when I set my makeup with my setting powder and I use it to actually bake, what that does is, again, like I said, it sets your makeup. But when it comes to baking, people like to bake specifically because, they may be oily, or they want their makeup to last, which is the point of setting and setting products, because setting products make your makeup last. So, and when you set your face and use that to bake, what that is actually doing is, because remember I said we use a shade that's 1 or 2 shades lighter than us when we use our when we do our highlighting parts. What this actually does is it warms it up more to our skin. My camera just did something really weird. Anyway, it warms it up to our skin a little bit more, so it doesn't have that like ghostly cast or that ashy look to us. But also, if you're not using good products, you will have flashback. So when it comes to like my setting and prep products, I usually go for the more expensive because those are typically better quality. As far as like my eyeshadows and like foundations, so I can use more drugstore products, just because at the end of the day, my setting and prepping products, those are to make my makeup last. So I like high quality makeup regardless, but I'm just saying, like, if you're someone who don't want to spend a whole lot of money on makeup products, I would definitely suggest spending that money on like your prep and set products. But I'm gonna let this sit on my face, and we're gonna move on to bronzer. I know I didn't explain finishing powder. That's because we're gonna come back to that when I'm actually using it. I just wanted to, put it on your brain so you know it's coming up. But I let this sit for a little bit. I'm actually gonna set my eyes because they're a little oily and I didn't put eyeshadow on. Boom. Okay, while this sits on my face, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna, add my eyeliner because I still want to do a full look at the end of the day. I'm gonna do my eyeliner, do my lashes, and we will be back. Okay, so we are back. I got my lashes. I've added some eyeliner. I'm doing my lower lashes like the very last step. But anyway, I did go ahead and add some of that translucent powder right here under my contour just to snatch me up a little bit more. But I just want you all to pay attention. So like I said, the point of baking and setting and all of that is to warm up that lighter concealer to your actual face so it's not so shocking and so bright. You can see that compared to this powder that I just added not too long ago versus this that's been sitting on my face for about a good 5 minutes, you can already see how this is becoming more beige or tan and more closer to my complexion, because it's warming up that concealer compared to where I just added this. This has a little bit more time to sit so it can warm up. But I'm probably not going to even let it sit that long because I'm going to go in with my finishing powder anyway. But anyway, I'm about to go in with my bronzer. I think I'm going to use... I'm making that. I don't know which bronzer I want to use. I've been using my Fenty for the past couple of times I did my makeup. So I think I might just continue with that. I think I'm going to use my Juvia's Place. Why not? I haven't used that. I have not used you in so long. I don't want you to think I'm neglecting you because you still that girl too. But anyway, the point of bronzer is to bring warmth back into your face. You see I have all this powder on. You see I have the main parts of my face are the lightest parts. So bronzer is going to not only set your contour, but it's also going to bring that warmth back to your face. And you apply it at the places where you applied your contour. And I'm doing this while my powder is still on because you see how strong that is. When I dust my powder off, I'm going to dust it all over so it can further reinforces and sets that product in there so it's not such a strong contrast. So I'm going to add it to my temples. Again, like I said, we're still going to leave this powder here. We're just trying to bring some warmth back to our face so we can look like the glowing bronze goddesses that we are. And then I just since I'm using this big fluffy brush, I literally take it on the side. So when I contour my nose, I can do that because sometimes contour your nose can look really harsh. So I try to use as little product as possible, because a little goes a long way on your nose. I don't even know if you all can tell on camera how that just snatched my nose up. Yeah, no, so now we're going to go into finishing powder because I did not talk about that. So when it comes to finishing powder, the difference between finishing powder and setting powder, they're both powders. I know it can get confusing. It took me a while to really understand the difference and how to use them. But like I said, both finishing and setting powders can come in compact form, press form, or in loose form. Most of the time, finishing powders are more so in press form, but the difference is these are to make your makeup look flawless at the end. So finishing powders are used towards the end. So like if you do have areas in your face that are a little lighter than everywhere else, you can use your finishing powder, which typically finishing powders, you want to pick one that's closer to your complexion, which is why I have this like brown. It looks a lot brighter on camera, but it's actually warmer and more closer to my complexion. I'm trying to find my powder. So like I said, finishing powders are just that. They are the finishing touches of your makeup to bring everything all together. So you see how I have this really bright contour right here? This is the finishing powder I'm going to be using, Inspired Bobbi Brown, because the Chanel one was sold out. They're phasing the Chanel powder out at at Ulta Beauty, and I really want to try it. So I might just order it from Chanel's website so I can have that luxury, you know, that luxury feeling. But yeah, this is the Bobbi Brown one. So I'm just going to tap it, and you don't need a lot. You're going to tap that in. Now on camera, it looks a lot stronger. I'm actually going to turn down my brightness. So this is like more of a natural, like you can see even compared to right here where I still have that translucent powder versus the finishing powder, you can see how this is more closer to my complexion than this, which that is okay because we're trying to, like I said, have that natural highlight. So I'm going to continue and use that same powder puff, but I'm going to just press that setting powder in and press it, and I'm pressing it all over my face so it can like further reinforce that contour, remove any like harsh lines that we have on our face. And this just brings the face all together. I'm adjusting the light because this kind of looks weird. This makes me look so bright, but that's because I have a ring light right here. I have a light over here. I have all these lights, the light from my settings, but it needs to be bright so you can see what I'm doing. But anyway, I am going to go in and add blush because blush is my favorite, okay? Blush is just, ooh, I don't know, something about blush. And for the longest time, I did not use blush. Let me show you how much blush is really, like, has my heart. These are the only 4 I can find right now, but they all have multiple blushes in them. But for today's video, we're going to use my favorite, which is the One Size Beauty Blush Trio, and this is in the color shade Firestarter. I said this several times before on my channel. If you're a black girl, you need to get an orange blush. I'm just saying, I don't make the rules, I just follow them. I make some rules, but yeah, orange blush. So when it comes to blush, blush just brings back the rosiness. But even though we are of darker complexion, we have more melanin, we still can have rosiness in our face. We still want to have that feminine look to our face. I mean, at least I do. I don't know about you, but that's what the point of blush is. Blush is to like bring the rosiness and bring the feminine and bring back some more color to your face. Because if I just look, I feel like I just look I won't say two-dimensional or one-dimensional. I feel like I could look more alive and my face could have more color than just this. Like, this is pretty basic. This is something I would probably wear to an interview. Like, very basic, very just, okay, your makeup looks okay. There are multiple places you can apply blush. You can apply it at the top of your contour, which will really lift your face. Me, I like to apply it seated directly on my contour. So You can smile if you want to see where the balls of your cheek are. So that's where I usually start. You start the balls on my cheek. And go upward. Like, you see how much more lively this side of my face is versus this one. This one has the color. I look like a human. I don't just look I don't know. My face just doesn't look flat. This side compared to this side, adding the blush. And if you're really a blush girl like me, you gonna blend it all the way up under your cheeks. That's what I do. And I also like to dab a little bit on my nose. This is what they're calling cold girl makeup right now. It's just how I do my makeup. I mean, yeah. Let's say you don't want it to look as rosy like right here, because I do look like I'm cold or something. I get why they call it cold girl makeup. You can take that same beauty blender or whatever you use to apply your setting powder and just go over it. See how this side is more toned down than this side? Yeah, we're going to go in and tone it down. So now it looks more natural and like we just have natural rosy. Well, mine don't look as natural because, like I said, I like to go a little overboard with my blush, but that's just me. And so once you're done with all your setting sprays, your finishing touches, you're gonna have a flawless beat just like this. It's very cute, very simple. This is more like a everyday makeup. Like, we're all set to contour and highlight your face and beat your face like a pro. If you are just trying to learn how to do your own makeup, or if you are an aspiring makeup artist, I just gave you the tea. I just gave you the sauce. So go beat your face, homegirl. Make sure you tag me on Instagram. If you like this video, make sure you give some thumbs up because that really helps me. And leave a comment. Let me know how you like this video. Anything else you want to see. Anything regarding beauty, self-development, femininity. I'm your girl. And I will see you in my next video.